Hey guys, it's Risa. Welcome to Japanese Top Words. Today's theme is 10 ways to save the planet in Japanese. Let's start it!
Hello, world. As you can see, today, or if I'm being honest, 1 year ago, I talked with.
Hi, I'm Risa. I'm from JapanesePort101.com. I'm teaching Japanese culture and language at the site and YouTube. Yes!
はい。
Cut!
Although we talked about teaching Japanese online, what I found equally fascinating was how Risa learned English. I think a lot of her experiences carry over to learning Japanese or language in general. The first question I had was why Risa wanted to learn English.
First, I started listening to the English music. I really into British band. So I listen to the music, but I don't really understand what they're singing about or what they saying at the interview. So I really wanted to know what they are saying, and I wanted to go other country. So I started studying English, and I've been to London for 1 year. That's the longest travel じゃない longest, how do you say longest
Trip?
longest trip but studying in London だから that's the longest time I've been to other country, the London. Yeah.
Normally, I'd cut something like this out, but I think it really did prove Risa's point, which is not to be afraid to make mistakes when learning or speaking a new language.
Practicing, don't be hesitate. Like for me, it happens when I speaking English and I feel like I want to speak correct English, like correct sentence, and I need to speak perfect English. Then I can't speak. The English doesn't come out in my head. Yeah, so when I don't care about it, I can speak.
I wanted to know if she studied English before her trip to London.
I did at my high school.
And that's it?
I went to the English school. It's not that much, like 1 hour a week or something like that, with a native speaker. We have a little conversation in the classroom.
I wondered what studying English in England was like.
Actually, in London, there's many Japanese people and students. So in the language school, I had many Japanese classmates. So like in the break, they start speaking Japanese. So I try not to speak Japanese to them. Like even if they ask me a question in Japanese, I answer them in English. So I was maybe kind of a bit weird in the classroom, but that's how I tried to study. Or like when I go on the bus, I hear people talking on the phone and I was alone and I imitate what they're saying. Like, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like that.
In English schools in Canada, I've seen people make friends with their classmates, but not necessarily the locals. So I wondered if she talked much with local British people.
Actually, it was hard to find British people in London. I don't know, maybe only around me, because my colleague was all from like Italy, Spain, like other European countries. So yeah, I didn't really have a British friend. So once I tried to talk to a girl and I thought she's British and I said, are you British? And she said, no, I'm from Poland. Yeah.
So switching tracks, I started asking about Japanese. Since she has a lot of viewers, I wanted to know their main motivations for learning Japanese.
Yeah, because some people like anime. They want to learn what's anime character saying. Or some people want to come to Japan, like the culture, stuff like that. Or some people want to have a Japanese girlfriend. Haha.
Something that kept me from speaking Japanese in the past was my fear of being too formal or casual.
So if you're not sure which to speak, polite Japanese or casual Japanese, I suggest you to speak polite Japanese, because when you're speaking polite Japanese, nobody gets upset or feel bad about it. They understand you're trying really hard. But if you speak in casual Japanese, sometimes it can be a bit rude. So need to be careful for that.
But
When Japanese people doesn't know if you speak Japanese and you're trying to speak Japanese, even if it's casual Japanese, it's okay because I can see you're trying to speak.
because the thing is, I found that Japanese people are generally just happy you're learning their language.
Yeah, Japan is a small country, but I'm so happy there's people who wants to learn Japanese and interested in Japan. And I'm happy to help them to study. So, yeah.
It's a fairly well-known thing that kanji is difficult for most people, so I asked what part of Japanese was easy to learn.
Listening is easy, I think, because we speak clearly. Because it's just exactly how you read.
You can't get it wrong.
Yeah.
We started wondering if there was formal English that compared to formal Japanese.
Yeah, I don't really know the formal English, so I might using casual English in a wrong situation. But not many people told me about that.
I don't
Like you're using
There's
wrong.
like business English, but that's not really a thing.
Even nowadays, especially with anybody in America, like I talk with accountants, which you would think are fairly formal, but people go like, "Hey, how's it going? What's up?"
Yeah.
So,
But I like that because in Japanese, if you use polite Japanese, you feel a certain distance with people. But in English, there's nothing like that, so you feel more closer to other people.
So while the general advice is to not worry about making mistakes, one area Risa thought you should really be correct is when getting tattoos.
You know, because sometimes I found people has a
really
weird Japanese,
Yeah.
and once I met a German guy, and he has a tattoo says taira, like flat, means flat. Taira, kanji taira.
Okay.
Taira, yeah.
trying to go peace? Is that
Yeah, he was saying, look, this means peace. What do you think? And I said, this is not mean peace. You have to have a heiwa together, and then it means peace. But he was like, what? What? I didn't know. So he went mad. So I think be sure.
comes to Japan and
So yeah, check the kanji before. What does it mean or stuff like that.
Now here's a question that Risa had that perhaps you can help answer in the comments.
I want to ask you this question: why, not only American people, but you from
Canada.
Canada, like English-speaking people, they come to Japan and they speak in English to Japanese people, whether they don't know if he or she speaks English or not. They don't try to speak Japanese. Why is that?
I don't know. I only speak Japanese to people unless they speak English.
So you're good. You're good
Even
student.
when they speak English to me, unless they're really good at English, I usually just keep on doing Japanese because my mind's in Japanese mode.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so there's a switch.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
Japanese
but
mode,
if
English
I
mode.
know you speak very good English, so I probably just go English off the bat.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and like you
I
know,
think people just think Japanese people can speak English.
speak
I
English.
think, yeah,
Or
think,
gaijin think that Japanese people can speak English.
So,
Because-
like they speaking a long sentence, and after people say like, "What? Hi? Eh?"
in her YouTube video comments, Risa often gets marriage proposals, so I just had to ask what she thinks of it.
I watch the comments on YouTube sometimes, and some people saying, "Marry me, Risa," or something like that. Maybe because they are being kind or gentle to me. Because in real life, I never had a proposed before.
I thought this was a good lesson in Japanese culture. Japanese people are quick to compliment, but very humble about themselves. Another lesson was this.
虎ね、今の。虎じゃん、ライオンだ。再利用する。あ、maybe you need a water.
I find Japanese are always thinking about you and how you might feel. So while Risa was working on her own video, she thought enough to ask if I wanted to drink some water. Little did she know that I always have water. Oh, and that other voice you were hearing was Meg, who is usually behind the camera, kind of like me. Thanks, Meg. The space they work in is so tiny. I have a wide-angle lens, so it might not seem so, but it's very small.
電気自動車
By the way, this isn't a sponsored video. I met Meg and Risa at YouTube events, and I thought it'd be interesting to talk with them. But I do use Japanese Pod 101 and recommend it. It's kind of like what Risa says.
I suggest you do things, something you're interested in. If you're interested in music, just listen to the music, or movie and drama and stuff like that. Just try not to lose your interest in language or culture. Okay, that's all for today. Thank you for watching.
Okay. Yeah. Are you cool?
Yes, thank you so much for taking me behind the scenes. It was a lot of fun talking about language with you guys. Sorry it took me almost a year to post this. Hopefully in the future you'll let me make some more videos. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye. Do you have a tattoo written in Japanese? Does it? Does it say what you think it does?